Sometimes I think that we have these, and I'm going to call it an experience, although in and of itself, it's not an experience. Everything that comes after is the experience. Like the personality, Eric, that's the experience. But that which is before, and I know that your meditation is on the I am presence, and that is that which comes before, right?
Yes, before thought, before labels, before identity. I am Jody, who is a woman, who is a mother, who's a wife, who's all these things. All of the meditations point back to the I am presence because everything else is under the false self-identification. So gratitude, and this might upset some people who are heavily meditating in the traditional sense, but even just anchoring into gratitude and anchoring in nature and affirmations, those are helpful, and they've been so helpful for me. I feel like they've been a bridge to me really understanding what true meditation is, because even when I would meditate for, 30 minutes to an hour in the traditional sense, I still felt like there was something missing. And that's why I'm so passionate about meditation now, which is what I call true meditation, which is just simply abiding as we are. And so it's not a doing, it's a being what we already are. And there's nothing more simpler than that. Just, I think there's a lot of complex things around meditation, but there's nothing more easy than just to be what we are. It's actually harder to be what we are not.
Right. And you actually offer that um, when you talk about healing, like the difference between healing and fixing.
Yeah. So the fixing is all tied to the personal self identification. Healing is the healing of the mind, not of the body apparatus. Um, Course in Miracles calls, the magic, the taking the pills. And yes, those things are helpful. But when we heal our mind, it can't help but to heal the body or not, depending on what's according to our script. Um, but but true healing is the healing of the mind, so that can be um, expressed out in our physical body. If again, depending on what's in our script, if we are to be healed or not. So the healing of the mind really is just all about accepting what is, anchoring and abiding in our true nature, because as our mind settles from the personal self identification, the guidance comes in, the the intuitive guidance, the divine guidance, spirit's guidance, and so it's not just saying, okay, you know, I have cancer, I have the flu, and I'm just going to accept it. It's a matter of accepting this as part of the personal self-identification's expression in that moment, but also recognizing that's not who we are. So we are not the sickness, we are not the ailment, we are not the pain. We are so much more than this body apparatus. And when we abide in that, the things of the body are dissolved, healed, possibly, miraculously.
Sometimes it seems like healing can be just another form of seeking, and that we feel as we're chasing after that healing, um, we're actually keeping true healing at bay because all of our energy is spent. There's got to be a cure. There's got to be a way of fixing this, of feeling better. And all the while, we're simply missing the point of, and I heard Lisa Natoli talk about this in her own fitness. Can you just be with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Lisa she's great around talking about healing, and just all kinds of great programs. But yeah, exactly. Can we just be with it? Because judgment is not our true mind. And that what you were speaking to is, there's something wrong and I have to fix this. And it's just all the spiritual ego. Um, but instead, accepting what is. And I say that, but not doing a spiritual bypass. That doesn't mean saying, like, I'm just going to smile because I have this disease now, or I have this, diagnosis that can seem really scary. the things of the personal self-identification, the emotions, the sensations are all going to arise to the surface. And true forgiveness is really just allowing that to be and not judging it, because that's us abiding in our true mind without the
Right.
judgment, which
Um,
promotes healing. But then the healing's not needed, because you feel at peace and in acceptance.
right. Sort of like a paradox. Um,
Absolutely.
and I think part of spiritual wisdom is accepting the paradoxical nature of, you know, unless you first seek. Um, it seems, although I've definitely heard of people and I've met people who've had that spontaneous awakening where they were never seeking. Um, but I I love Jack Cornfield, the Buddhist meditation teacher,
Mhm.
when he talks about meditation and he's asked, "Does meditation cause awakening?" And he said, "No." Um, or the question was, "Is awakening through meditation, is it an accident, or does meditation lead to it?" And he said that awakening is an accident, but meditation makes you accident prone.
Hmm.
Um,
I like that.
Me too, and I think that's the whole thing with the course is, there's 365 lessons, and you do them every day, but the goal isn't to be good at doing lessons. And you and I talked about this backstage.
Yep.
The goal is to be an expression of love.
Yes, absolutely. I think that was the biggest game changer for me. The shift from reading A Course in Miracles over and over, getting frustrated with it, throwing it aside, saying, I'm done with A Course in Miracles, and then it drawing me back in, um, is always coming back to that. It's just, yeah, coming out of the story into the holy instant, which is which is what we are, which
Do
is,
you
yeah.
find when you have a deep sense of that I am presence, and then in a moment, Jody comes rushing back in. Um, and I know some people again who have those awakenings, and the personality presence never comes rushing back in. For me, that's never been the case, and that used to be kind of frustrating. Uh, but now the personality is what appears, and when I when I'm able to not take it quite so seriously, um, it's less annoying than it used to be.
Yes, I completely agree with you. And I was under that same belief that when I fully awaken, I won't come back into this mind. The Jody character won't be active. I'll just be, forever at bliss.
Right,
And while much of that is true, I'm definitely a lot more peaceful, I think, just naturally. And I can feel that the peace is not of the Jody character. Um it's a it's a piece beyond my own understanding sometimes, where I kind of
right.
look and go, wow, if this was, 10, 15 years ago, I would not be feeling. So I recognize that. But this misbelief of not dipping in and dipping out, I think is I think it's kind of rampant in this arena a little bit. But
Not
the
non-dual
mystery,
community.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's just, for me, when the Jody character comes online, is what I say to myself. Exactly that. Okay, the character has come online, and I can just observe it. I can watch the stories, I can watch the fears, I can be uninterested and uninvolved, as if I'm watching a movie
Right.
that's just kind of playing out, whereas I'm no longer identified with the stories, with the fears, with the anxiousness, with the, millions of different sensations that run through the human body.
And the amazing thing is watching that Eric presence come and go, and the Jody presence come and go, is that which remains at all times.
Absolutely.
And that makes all the difference. Touching base with that over and over again. So it's like just dipping into a vat of dye, and every time you dip in, um, and you pull the cloth out, it's a little more of the solid color, of what you actually are.
Yeah, and we're never a part of it. So even when the characters of Eric and Jody come online, we're never separate from that which we are identifying that is our true self.
Right.
So our mind can believe that we're separate. Oh, I reacted this way and I shouldn't have, and so I'm separate from this I am presence, and I am presence wouldn't do that, and that's just not true. The I am is here pervading everything always, whether we're sleeping or driving or doing the dishes or reacting or responding. And it's really just about not judging. I think that's where the judge, I've noticed for myself, that's been a deep practice of mine of allowing the human nature to show up as she wants to, but not becoming identified with it. That's the key. Allowing it
And
to express.
that's the big um, that's where the course leads you into the amazing thing. The amazing thing with judgment is how I can catch myself, um, uh, those little judgments coming in, and even judging my ability to be non-judging. That it's almost, infinite regression. That, there's always a hook that can catch you. Um, but the key is that in all of that, go to catch your own judgment and don't judge it. Just relax. Be the presence of which you are.
Absolutely. A question that comes to my mind often when I'm in that space and I recognize it is just simply, who's the I that's judging? Who's the I that's judging right now? Because it's never the I am. It's never the big I. It's always the small I. Always, without exception.
Right.
Yep.
That and that silence that answers all of those questions is profound, and uh, the fact that we can just keep returning to it. And I really do think, as I said in that lesson 122, that it offers everything that I need. That um, it has been a number of years since I felt that frantic energy of um, seeking for something that was so subtle. And it's amazing that we're seeking something that's already present.
Absolutely. It's already here always. Yeah. And the seeking mind seeks. And that's what the seeking mind does because it's lacking, because it's believing that it's the separate entity. It's separated itself from God. And so of course it's looking, saying, where's my other half? Where's this piece?
Right.
And the I that wakes up, of course, is not the I am. The character, the small I doesn't wake up. Um, which is all tied to the seeking and the judging and everything we're talking about. But absolutely the answers are in the silence. And silence doesn't always mean that the room is quiet or that there can still be sensations happening, still thoughts running rampant, but coming into the I am. Re- I've shifted away from saying returning because again, that elicits my mind going, hey, you're separate from it. It's recognizing. It's just simply just recognizing that it's here always. And that's, when we're in the figuring out mind, when we're in the analytical, what am I going to do mind? Oh no, this thing is happening and all the thoughts are happening. That's my go-to, is just closing my eyes or not closing my eyes. Sometimes I can't close my eyes and the Jody character has gotten activated and I'm driving. It's just recognition, a recognition of what I already am. And then the answers from there come from that silence, and they're not from the ego.